I want to share a case that highlights how gut health, detoxification capacity, and nervous system all interact, especially as we age. So, this case study is about a client who is 73-year-old. He's a man, and he came in with a long list of symptoms that had slowly accumulated over time: chronic heartburn, insomnia, nasal congestion, neck and joint pain, and a deep fatigue, even feeling lethargic. He had also had a history of an autoimmune disease called PMR, and he felt like his body was constantly inflamed and depleted. His labs told a very important story. So we ran a GI map, a mycotoxin lab, we ran an environmental toxin lab, we ran an organic acids test as well. So we ran a lot. We found in his GI map that he had an H. pylori infection. He had significant gut dysbiosis, so again, leaky gut here, and evidence of both mycotoxin exposure from mold and environmental toxin exposure. And these toxins were directly impacting his mitochondrial function, meaning his cells simply weren't producing energy efficiently anymore. So, from a functional nutrition perspective, his body wasn't broken. It was just a little bit overwhelmed, and we needed to get everything back to being stabilized, which was my first priority. So, we did not detox him aggressively. First, we stabilized his gut. So, we focused on calming the gut and the immune system, improving digestion and bile flow, and reducing histamine burden, which could be increasing that nasal congestion. We did all this so his system could finally rest at night. He wasn't even sleeping in his own bed. He was sleeping in a recliner because his nasal congestion was so aggressive. So, when we addressed all of these things, we supported the gut lining, his microbiome balance got better, his liver function got better, and his nutrient status got a whole lot better because it was able to absorb all of those nutrients again. So, while nutrition played a key role, all of those things helped with decreasing the histamine response he was getting. And he went from not being able to sleep in his bed at night to sleeping all the way through the night. So we supported his gut lining, microbiome balance, liver function, and nutrition status. That's a lot of things to address in one protocol, but that's exactly what we do with functional nutrition. So we emphasized adequate protein to protect muscle and mitochondrial health. We did slow digesting carbohydrates for steady energy, no spiking blood glucose. We did anti-inflammatory fats for joint support and vegetables that help the liver clear inflammatory byproducts. We also removed gluten to reduce immune activation and joint pain to also reduce that histamine response. And then we addressed the nasal and sinus inflammation directly because again, this is an ongoing exposure from the mycotoxin. Mycotoxins can populate that nasal passage, and so they'll repopulate if you don't directly clear them from the nose. So what we did is we used something called citri drops and we cleared out that sinuses. So after about 3 months, the changes were hugely significant. He was able to sleep through the night, like I had mentioned, staying in his bed the whole time. Previously, congestion and reflux forced him to sleep upright and wake up with just miserable headaches and just not feeling well. His nasal congestion improved so dramatically that his energy returned, and he also only noticed that he had a little bit of a stuffy nose upon awakening. His digestion normalized, his bowel movements became regular, and his histamine reactions dropped to the point where he only noticed, again, mild congestion slightly in the morning. He became more active with his family. He was able to shovel snow again, which he wasn't delighted about, but needed to be able to do. And he felt capable in his body instead of feeling limited by it. So, this case is a great example of what can happen when we respect the body's order of operations. Calm first, support next, and then detox. So we don't overload the body's system and we make sure that immune gets everything it needs. We need the immune system ready to go. So, especially later in life, thoughtful, paced functional nutrition can restore comfort, energy, and quality of life without pushing the body too hard.